right, we are going to just let everybody start getting in the room. We have a pretty good attendance for our show today. And as we're doing that, we would like to do something that we learned from our friends at FMG, who Susan's here from FMG. And when you are on an FMG webinar, their chat is crazy. There are like hundreds of people asking questions. And so we're going to try to take a page from their webinar system and ask you guys an easy, open-ended icebreaker, which is, where are you all joining us from today? And before we do all formal introductions, why don't we go around the room here? Jackie, we'll start with you. Where are you coming to us from?
The New York, New Jersey area. I'm in New Jersey.
Okay. You're being vague. Are you being vague for a reason or?
Oh, no. I'm in Cranford, New Jersey.
There you go. There you
No, today. I'm sorry for everyone that's suffering through a really cold Wednesday
go.
in the
Yeah.
Northeast.
Yeah, you guys got hammered. All right, Susan, where are you out of?
I'm in Palos Verdes Estates, right, which is kind of LA area of California.
Area, yeah. All right.
It's
And Laura, where are
raining,
you out of?
by the way.
Oh, it's raining.
It is raining in Southern California. Which is probably good and bad.
You probably need it.
Yeah.
Yes and no, like mudslides now, but yeah.
Yeah.
Can't win.
Yeah, weather hits you guys really, really hard. All right, Laura, how about you?
Seattle. And for anyone who knows Seattle, specifically in Ballard.
How about the 3 people that have answered are all in Canada?
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Love it.
That's probably because it's my team.
Yeah.
So I'm in Kalamazoo, Michigan, but our company is in Oshawa and really the greater Toronto area.
Oh,
So
awesome. There we go.
all right, so thank you. Oh, we got Columbus,
people
Ohio.
coming in.
Yeah,
Cool.
all right, beautiful. All right, man, we have a lot of, okay, good. Warming it up everywhere. Orlando, Florida. Okay.
Where we all want to be.
Yeah, I know. I was just gonna say, man,
sure.
we're getting hammered right now. There's a huge storm system moving through Michigan right now. We could get a foot of snow in the next 24 hours. So
Another Orlando. I was just in Winter Park. That was beautiful.
oh yeah.
I'd never been there before. Very cool.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and dive in, everybody. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys a brief overview. We're going to be talking about the marketing trends. So the people that we have on our webinar today are the best of the best. You're not going to find anybody who's better and more knowledgeable in what's going on in the world of marketing today than our guests. Please ask questions. If we're going through something and one of the panelists or myself say something that you're like, I'd like to know more about that, please just go ahead and drop your question either into the chat or into the Q&A. And that is what we're managing on the back end. We also have a bunch of resources and stuff, so you're going to want to stay until the end because thankfully all of our wonderful guests today provided us with some really good actionable stuff that you guys can download at the end. If for some reason you need to drop off, which you shouldn't because you're going to miss stuff, you will have the opportunity to get a recording of the webinar a little bit later. So here are our panelists. So we've got Laura, who is the co-founder of Idea to Canner and host of the Real #Finfluencers, and that is an interview series learning all sorts of wonderful secrets from advisors who are really killing it with video. So if video is your thing, she's the person that you need to follow. Please follow her on LinkedIn because she's always posting really wonderful stuff. And then we got Susan. Now Susan is the Chief Marketing Officer for FMG. Now, if you don't know who FMG is, I don't know where the hell you've been. It's literally the largest website company, and they offer a lot of other things besides just websites in financial services. But she is going to be talking a little bit about some of the results of the 2025 marketing guide, which, by the way, you're going to be able to download. Yes, is that the thingy that you gave us?
Yes.
Yep. Right, beautiful.
Yeah. Marketing and websites is our thing. Yeah. The guide.
Marketing and websites.
All of the above.
All of the above. And that's the best part is they have a do it for you service. It's absolutely done for you service. Damn it. Did I say that wrong?
Yeah. It's called, yeah, you did it right.
Okay, good. Yay, I did it right. All right, good. And by the way, unbelievable person to follow on social media. If you guys aren't following FMG, it's fantastic. And then Jackie, who's head of digital at Jay Connolly. Now, I'm going to take a minute here because some of you don't know Jay Connolly, and I don't know. Unless you're working with a larger firm or you've been in the public relations game for a while, they are the best of the best. They're at the top of the tier. If you want the greatest PR you can possibly get, not necessarily just in financial services, but just PR overall, Jay Connolly is it. She's going to be talking a little bit about the Digital Thought Leadership Program, but you guys need to follow her on social too, because you're going to be able to find out more and more about that. And my name's Matt Haller, and I'm just some guy with a beard who is moderating this. So anyway, we're going to talk about what's hot in content marketing. The question for the panel, we're going to start with Jackie first, is what content marketing trends should our business owners, our people on the webinar today, focus on in 2025?
So this is a great question. The hot trend that I'm really seeing is business owners realizing that the core of their content strategy isn't just about what they do, it's about why they do it and how they do it. And your personal values and your business values should really be at the foundation of your messaging. And I think that starts with a lot of internalizing, a lot of self assessment. And that's what's really going to make content stand out in a crowded space, I think, in the coming year, especially with the rise of AI and what's replicable all over the place. So I don't think people are just going to connect with another expert, especially in the finance industry, where it really is a partnership in a lot of your circumstances. They connect with people who are leaders and they have distinct points of view that they can relate to. And their research process is going to involve getting to know you on a digital level, potentially before they ever meet you. So, in 2025, it's going to be about storytelling that not only feels aligned with how you developed as a professional, but what with feels aligned with how you enjoy digital. So that can be long form writing, that could be video, it could be short reactions, it could be trends, it could be your just analysis that's thoughtful. But really, it's about being personal and it's about being purposeful. And how does that purpose amplify your business via your personal brand?
And with your personal brand, it's incredibly important to make sure that the billboard that you have and all of the social proof that you're creating actually has the same message. So Susan, take that away because that's what you guys do all day, every day.
We do, although I've got kind of a curveball in terms of trends, because this
Ooh.
one I think is super hot and new. So I'm going to ask everybody on the chat. I'd love to hear, does anybody know what AEO is? Not SEO, but AEO. Let's see from the chat. Anybody? It is answer engine optimization. So this is the trend that we're starting to talk about for 2025. And it seems pretty inevitable that this is going to overtake SEO. So another question, we're not getting a lot of people raising their hand for AEO and defining it, but put in the chat the last time you went into ChatGPT or Claude or anywhere and asked it a question. Was it today, yesterday, this morning? Today, yes. Okay, so guess what? When a potential prospect is thinking about some financial planning topic, which it's those are the triggering events when they go to look for you. It's not that they wake up and say, I need I want to meet Joe, the financial advisor. They're thinking about a financial planning challenge that they are having. I'm moving and I don't know what to do when we sell our house and have the proceeds. I'm changing jobs. I just had a baby, whatever it might be. The chances that they are going to ask one of the AI platforms that question is getting increasingly high. So they're going to go in and they're going to ask chat, what should I, when should I take Social Security? What should I do when I, financial planning for when I have a baby? You need to be found there. And you've probably noticed that when the chat engines give you a response, they also cite sources. And that's where you will now get found. So my advice is to start thinking about AEO and how to implement that and moving really not completely away from SEO. It's not gone yet, but if you've used Google and you've searched right up top, Gemini is giving you a summary. So the ways that you can do this, thinking about the top 10 questions your clients ask you or a prospect when they're coming to you, what are the questions that you get asked? Add those in an FAQ section on your website. When you do social posts, think about doing some of those social posts in a Q&A format. Thinking about the fact that some people are doing just voice search on those chat platforms, they're not even typing. Make sure your content is written in a totally conversational format. Do not use buzzwords. Think about, instead of where SEO prioritized really long articles with long tail keywords, think about moving to short, concise Q&A format. So instead of, everything you're posting about being, the top 10 reasons to do XYZ, think about what are the questions somebody would ask if they were interested in that topic. So instead of like top 5 things to know about Social Security, you might say, when should I start taking Social Security? The more you do that, the more likely you're going to be to come up in the search results on the chat platforms. And what we've noticed, not the chat platforms, the AI platforms, they do have a local bias. So if somebody is asking that question and they are in your area and you've written something on that, you will likely be sourced in the answer. So that's my little hot trend.
Okay, well, I'm going to just piggyback right off of that, because using Google and asking Google the questions that Susan's talking about answering is actually how you can create all your damn content too.
Yeah.
When you ask the question, here's the super cool thing. So it will come up with the Gemini AI or AI response, right? And so we know that text is favored by the question that you're asking in your search bar. But here's the hidden trick. Scroll down. And what you're going to do is about 2 scrolls-ish down, there's going to be people also asked.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah. Yeah.
There it is. There's all your questions. That's what you should be using to create your content. So
Yep.
many advisors and business owners are struggling so hard on figuring out what to talk about. That is the one thing, and you're going to have content coming out the wazoo. Now, so short form content is really, really powerful. And Laura, when it comes, everybody's saying this, and you and I actually did a webinar, like a month and a half ago, on video is king, podcasting is queen, right? Video is king. So what is your biggest trend? Is it a video trend, or are you going to do what Susan did and throw me a Louie?
Well, I love Susan's trend. I was just reading a New York Times article about the evolution away from using Google as search, and it seems to be a generational thing too, at least according
Oh,
to the
yeah.
New York
Oh, I
Times.
forgot to say, yeah, social.
That baby boomers do still turn to Google as sort of their source right now. But what we're seeing is this push up from Gen Z, all the way up through all of the generations, to more and more of us turning to AI to answer our questions. So I
And
love
also
that.
like YouTube and TikTok, where it's all video.
Exactly. And that's what the trend I wanted to address today, Matt, and you kind of alluded to it, was the short form video. And I completely blame TikTok for it. They have turned us into a doom scrolling society. I mean, just we go like this and we get down the rabbit hole and we really can't stop ourselves. And I think I've got an illustration because everybody pretty much understands, the difference between vertical and horizontal, or landscape and portrait. But like sometimes I think it's great to really spell it out. And that's, if you're shooting with your phone and you're up and down, or you're more landscape. And that TikTok trend and the shorter attention spans that we all have these days has really turned us toward short format content. And to give you a little slice of how that looks just on a single platform, when we see performance on YouTube these days, and YouTube, the last stat I read, was nearing 5 billion active monthly users.
Ooh.
That this doom scrolling, this behavior of short format video consumption, we are actually outpacing, us viewers are outpacing the content creators. So there is less content than people want to watch on YouTube right now. So how that plays out in the financial advising world is you can make a video that's, 2 to 3 minutes, or 15 minutes, or 30 minutes, and post a short about the same content. And what we're seeing is 5 to 10 times the organic views on the short format content. And it is simply
short form.
right now, YouTube's limit is 60 seconds or less. They are about to raise the limit, so the short form content can be longer. But there's really nothing you have to do. If you load up a vertical video to YouTube and it's short, it automatically goes into shorts, and it will automatically start getting served up to the audience.
Yeah, there's like a million follow-up questions on everything that you guys said that I want to ask. Okay, so I just, first off, Jessica, you want to go ahead and throw the poll in? So we're going to take a poll, and as some of the stuff comes in here, basically, out of the things that we just talked about, what are you all most interested in trying? And the fascinating thing is I don't know if you guys can see it, but all of these things work together. Everything that Jackie said and Susan said and what I said, and if you really start looking at what direction we're heading, this is it, everybody. I mean, being able to use AI, being able to use what you said, AMEO, AEO,
AEO.
AEO. God, I'm gonna get
Answer
that
engine.
answer engine, right? And then, where do you put it? I mean, YouTube is crazy. One of the things that we found very, very quickly as we're getting, lots of people are answering. That's great. When we moved to just taking clips of the podcast and putting them on YouTube Shorts, they get 10 to 20 times the amount of downloads and views. It's just unbelievable. And I also blame TikTok. And I really wish in financial services specifically, but I wish more business owners understood the power of TikTok, because it is really, really remarkable what you can do there and how you can use it to build your business. All right, let's see who wins here. Well, it looks like, Susan, I think you're ahead. So it
But
looks like people,
all of it does go absolutely hand in hand together, like literally all dependencies on each other.
All right, that's fantastic. Okay, so now we're gonna go negative here, which is always good. You have the positive stuff. This is what we're looking for, and now we're actually gonna be talking about the stuff that's not working. So all of us who are marketers, and all of you on this webinar, I'm sure have tried lots of different things, and they don't stick, and it just stings. So Laura, we're gonna start with you. What are some of the things that you want business owners to be like? Okay, I'm out. I'm not doing that anymore.
I think for financial advisors, for sure, it is creating just straight up educational content that applies to everyone across the board. In my Finfluencer series, I've been talking to financial advisors who are successfully leveraging video on their own to grow their businesses. And I talked to this one guy who recorded a what to do with your RSUs video that he posted on YouTube in 2020. And it now has over 100,000 views organically. And it was a video that was not fancy. It did not have great production quality. It was not content that was, rocket science. It was something that any financial advisor could have recorded had they just done it 5 years ago. And 5 years ago, there was this broad opportunity for just go record what you know, put it out there. People will watch it because it was a vacuum back then. Today, it has to really connect with your niche audience, with that ideal client. It's got to be about their problems, and it has to be super specific. I call it sniper content. So the more narrow you can be with the content, the better it will work.
So Jackie, I think that really tees you up really well. You want to just go ahead and take it from there?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think you're there in that situation. We're talking about the what and how you're speaking to the audiences. But what I want to make sure people are purposeful about is the where. Because I think there's this overwhelming pressure to be everywhere at once. And that's when you take a look at where is my audience? And they could be in a couple of different places, but that doesn't necessarily mean you should be in those places. But what you do is you tee yourself off for the best sort of success by being purposeful in one spot. Now, for financial advisors, you're going to gravitate towards LinkedIn because that's, I think, much more of a reputable environment recently than X previously. Twitter has been maybe for a financial sphere, but then you're going to go to those self-education platforms that are really where people are leaning in on video, like YouTube, or Reddit even is where a lot of people are feeling they're connecting in niche audiences, and that's really where niche content is relevant to niche groups. So I think that's when you're purposeful about where you're speaking, and then also where you feel comfortable speaking, because you want to maybe be on TikTok and maybe your audience is there, but you yourself are not enabled to do video right now. That means you can lean back on long form writing in a LinkedIn environment, and that's what makes the platform viable for you. So when it comes to exploring where your audiences live, I say be realistic about your capabilities, but also where your user experience hat, wherever you can.
All right, Susan, what do you got?
Well, I totally agree with both of you. And I think, the buzzword that we hear the most is I want lead gen. I want leads, get me leads. And I love that you're doing this webinar on content marketing, because Samantha Russell and I preach it all the time. Like, it is our philosophy to our core. It is the long game and what you need to do to grow your business. So what you need to stop doing is lead generation without nurturing. So I know many of you have probably tried some of the lead generation companies out there, no names, and then they're like, they don't work. Well, they don't work, and any lead generation strategy that you have, whether it's AEO or lead magnets on your website or all the content marketing that you're doing, once you get that prospect to fill out a form, you get that contact information, you have to nurture them consistently. And I think that's where all advisors generally, I mean, all is a big one, but a lot of advisors fall flat there because they don't have the content ready to go to be able to enter that prospect into a drip sequence. They think they filled out a form. If they're not ready to buy, I'm not interested. They should be calling me. And the point is that giving away free information, valuable information consistently, frequently over time is what converts them. It is not that first raise your hand, they're, looking at your website and downloaded something that might not be when they want to buy, and you can turn them off if you don't handle it the best way, which is to nurture. So like Y charts, there's so much data out there. Y charts has a great study. It says 75% of clients that were interviewed said that they considered leaving or left their advisor because of infrequent communication. So the fear of over communicating needs to go away. There is no over communicating if you're sharing valuable information and answering those questions that are on the top of mind of your clients, which gets to both Jackie and what Laura said. So I think it's about having that content ready to go and nurturing, not just thinking I get a lead and it should convert that week.
Man, I'm telling you, Y charts hit a home run on that
I love
study.
that study. Isn't
In
that great?
fact, I just referred that or referenced that on a sales call today, is that 75%, because a lot of people don't really understand that. Jessica, I don't know. So Jessica's running the back end of this. Do you know if we have a link to that Y chart study that we could go ahead and slap in the chat? Because I think people should really read it. No, we did have it before I answer. We had a question, and I don't know the answer to this, so maybe you guys do. This is from Nicholas Russell. I'm curious if anyone can speak to the demographics of the average TikTok user versus YouTube versus podcast. Do you guys have anything on any of that?
A little. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Laura.
No, you could go ahead, Jackie.
I know YouTube is a predominantly male demographic. It's an overwhelmingly male demographic. And then I will say that TikTok is skewing. I think the numbers are like 18 to 35 is pretty heavy. But I don't want to discount Google entirely, because even when you're creating short form content, that's responding to Google too. It's just you're being more SERP minded instead of results minded, but that's fine. Google's gonna fight, I think, really hard tooth and nail to get leverage back from all these other platforms. And YouTube, I think, is their best way to do that, because I personally, I think that's like probably your financial advisor's best educational platform.
YouTube really surprised me when I looked at the demographic split, because I do watch my teenage kids just diving deeply into YouTube and spending hours. And it's easy to make the assumption on YouTube that it really is a lot of kids, a lot of teenagers, maybe some 20-year-olds. But the statistics I pulled recently were that of all of those users, 35% of them are baby boomers and Gen Xers. So if you're writing off YouTube because you think, oh, it's just a very young audience, you are missing the boat, because 35% of them are probably falling within in your ideal client range.
And 35% of, you know, 300,
5
400
billion.
million people is a lot of people, right? Well, okay. So my answer to this, so I hope that answered your question there, Nicholas. So, my answer is actually going to piggyback off of what Susan was saying, because in our world here, where we create kind of shows and podcasts for advisors, the days of you just being able to do the ego, I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about, and I don't care if anybody listens, and of course they do, because they're upset that they're not getting the numbers that they want. I just really hope that you all stop doing that. Talking just to hear yourself is not how you're going to be successful in the content marketing game. And then the second thing is this A plus B equals C marketing equation that Susan just talked about, which is the whole idea of leads. That's not the world we live in anymore. It is from the minute you begin a content marketing strategy, whether that's through public relations, digital marketing, video marketing, website and content marketing, any of those sorts of things, it's 18 to 24 months before you're really going to start seeing massive traction, because you have to
Just
build the
got a total eye
foundation.
roll from everybody in the audience.
I'm sure. Yep. Screw them. I
Say
don't care.
exercise for 2 years and you'll start to see results.
Hey, but Susan, so I love that, because yes, you and I've talked a lot about this. Are they trying to build a business,
There you
or
go.
are they just trying to get quick wins? And I want to work with people who are trying to build a business, who are going to have a 3, 5, 10-year plan, right? This is part of the 3, 5, 10-year plan. It's just that's the
I will
world
say
that we live in.
you know, people that are in our Do It For Me program are seeing you can't predict it because it's
Right.
dependent upon when somebody has a triggering event that makes them want to act. And then it's going to be about you being top of mind. That's the whole key. So there's some, fate and luck in terms of the timing, but generally we are seeing if you are doing a content marketing strategy across different mediums over time, it it might not even take, I don't know. I think 24 months would be very conservative. You likely will see results sooner. Certainly you'll hear from your clients that they are so grateful
Yeah.
for sharing valuable information, and they are likely sharing it with their friends.
But what we
Yeah.
do know to be true is if you give something 30 days or 60 days and they get really frustrated that it's not working, you haven't tried hard enough.
No, you haven't.
No.
Or hard enough or long enough. All right. So one of the things that I think is important, and kind of leaning back on my days as a coach, a lot of people, Susan, I love that you said, everybody had a really big eye roll there, which I felt that, by the way, and I don't even see people.
Stayed in the
Um,
audience.
um, do you guys have any suggestions on, if you have been doing these things that we're asking you to get away from, what is a good intermediary step to get yourself out of those habits in really implementing some of the things that we talked about at the top of the webinar? Do you guys have any suggestions?
Sure.
All right, Susan, go.
Outsource, because you won't do it yourself. So there's if I could outsource exercise, damn, that would be so great, but can't do that. But you can outsource marketing. For anybody that is just like, this all sounds like a lot, it is a lot, and that's why we're in the business that we are. But we have a program called Do It For Me, and what we do is, it was actually just this, I call them different weekends where I'm writing all the content, but I write literally myself and Sam Russell 2 blogs, 4 emails. We version the blogs for emails to clients, prospects, and centers of influence, which is really important, just staying on top of dripping on them as well to build those relationships. And then about 20 social posts, some that we're recommending and others that are optional. We give recommendations for customizing thumbnails, where you should add your personal photo. Ideally, you should do all of your own photos, but some people don't have time. And then we've worked with Laura, and we do 2 video scripts, a short form and a longer form. So we've taken the blog and just versioned that into a video script, and Laura helps us and makes sure that we've done it really well. And then Laura can help you execute that. And then we do a marketing tip. And then we also do a podcast script on the blog that we've worked with Matt. Jackie, we have to work on a PR tip, but it's I think, you can get overwhelmed with all of the advice. And I think it's not your core. Marketing is not the core of what most advisors, do and got into this business. They mainly say, I just need to save time and I need help. So that's my tip. Just, you don't have to outsource it all. It doesn't have to be Do It For Me. We've got solutions that are, for people that want to do more of it themselves. And there are other solutions other than FMG. I'm not just saying that, but look for ways to outsource what you want to do, but can't.
All right. Anybody else?
I've got a great organizational tip. Have
I
you
need
ever heard that saying that the shoemaker's children have no shoes?
Yeah.
I feel like I have been living that. We built a whole process, a system, something that makes it really easy for advisors to create video on a consistent basis. But for myself, for creating my own personal brand content, I literally was just winging it. I was not following a system at all. And finally, I was sitting in a Sherry Fitz session at a conference last fall on personal branding. And I said to myself, like, I need to drink my own Kool-Aid if I am going to stay consistent and really do what I said I was going to do. And there is a slide that shows just a clip of what my own personal brand plan looks like. And I wish the whole year was filled out. It is not. I don't have that much foresight, but at least I kind of slate in what my posts are going to be about each week. I would highly recommend you, everyone in the audience is probably a better spreadsheeter than I am. Create some sort of structure for yourself, because just like with, a healthy eating plan or going to the gym, when you write it down, you are much more likely to do it. When I look at Susan's DIFM spread each month for what advisors are offered, it's so organized. And I love that. But I do know that for me, from personal experience, if you can block out your stuff, you're gonna do it.
Susan answered a question in the chat that I want to highlight here. So David asked the question about seminars, workshops, classes as marketing, and Susan's response was events, in her opinion, are the best lead gen strategy. And I want to make sure that we're very, very clear. That is a lead gen strategy.
And you have to nurture. But
Yes, because this is what I'm going to tell a very, very quick story here. So we had an advisor who's using our system who has been doing seminars forever, ever, 10, 15 years. And he did what a lot of you don't do, which was alluded to earlier, which is, well, they did, they filled out the form. They don't want to talk to me. They need to call me.
I'll forget about him.
Yeah. And so he didn't do that. So he kept all of these people on his nurture list, right? And what ended up happening was he had an estate planning attorney on his podcast, and they were talking about funding trusts. And the estate planning attorney said, well, I've got a whole desk full of trusts that have never been funded. And he said, well, what should you do? And she said, well, they should probably call you. Right. What ended up happening was a woman who had been to an estate planning workshop that he did 5 years before, that he was continuing to, literally called him up and said, I'm ready to go. And he was like, I don't even remember who you are. And she's like, well, I know who you are because I've been following all of your content and all of this sort of stuff. And so I think what all of us would agree with, and I'm not trying to put words in anybody's mouth, everything should be pointing in the same direction. All of your marketing, all of your lead gen, all of your sales should be moving in the same direction. That's really, really, really powerful. And when you do it that way, it works really well. All right. So now we're going to get into what should you do about this, right? So what is one step? Susan, you kind of already started with this a little bit, but I might just have you repeat what you were saying if you'd like to. What is something that our audience can do this week in order to really start making their content marketing more successful?
Okay. I mean, the easiest thing is to outsource and have somebody else do it for you. But I think a super easy step back to the AEO, but I also, I'm sure you've seen stats and it doesn't seem surprising. I think it's like 80+% of prospects are going to go to your website and check you out before they ever respond to anything that you've sent them or come to you. So your website is really important. And obviously this AEO and SEO is important to getting found. I think a really easy thing is to add an FAQ section to your website. If you have an FMG website, it's super easy to add a section. I would put it under resources. You might even want to put it at the top of the nav if you, don't have too many buttons up there already. But think about the top 10 questions that you think prospects are asking and put them into a very concise, succinct, very human, conversational tone FAQ format, and you'll be on your way to helping yourself with AEO, but also I think converting the prospects that are visiting your page.
And then take those FAQs
and
record some short form vertical videos, and you'll have great content to push out to your social channel.
Even better, you could actually, the FAQs could be video.
Oh.
That's the question, and then have the video of you answering it. And then you have all your social posts. And I was thinking actually for Do It For Me, I'm going to start writing more of our social posts in a question answer format. And then Laura, for the video scripts that we do, and also Matt, the whole, the podcast is sort of in a Q&A format. It works. It kind of all plays together. And then I think that's great to pitch to the media. Jackie, you could probably talk about how to leverage it for PR.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say though, for anybody that's thinking about being digital first from a personal branding perspective, you're coming to the table. I feel like social's a natural gravitation. That's when I think you should really assume your place back as an engager, because I think there's a lot of
Mm.
blockage between people feeling like they're not ready to put social content out there. And that's when I think you go back to the networks that you're in, you find a couple of key people to follow and see inspirational content from, probably the people in this call better than me. So going and really seeing what's doing well in the community and what's actually getting a lot of engagement, and seeing where you feel comfortable, creating content that fits in that environment. Because I think that's, once you go back to basics, it's easier to build from there as a fan, as a user.
We're flooded with questions. You guys just opened a huge can of worms. Okay, so I'm gonna give my quick tip here, and then we're gonna jump into just asking you guys a bunch of questions. Okay, so mine is posting and ghosting. One of the things, and I'm gonna, Jackie, this is right along the lines of what you're talking about with being digital first, right? So what a lot of you are doing right now is you will either have somebody else post, or you will post something, but you're not there. And I want you to know that it knows you're not there. So
Mhm.
here's the strategy that I think all of you can implement right away. It's going to make a huge difference. In fact, one of the people who came through our Sonic Boom coaching program got a 3,000% impression increase by doing this strategy, because what he was doing before is he's just putting stuff out there, putting stuff out there. So here's the strategy. 5 minutes before you post, you get on your favorite social media platform, your favorite, not the one that you think your ideal clients are going to be, but your favorite, the one that you like to interact with. Hopefully they're one and the same, but whatever. So let's
Mhm.
just say it's LinkedIn. So you're going to go ahead and get there 5 minutes before. Then you're going to go on, here's the key, your ideal clients posts, which by the way, you can just search up in the search bar and just type in uh, physicians, and then look at what the physicians are posting and like and comment and all of that stuff. Then you're going to post. Okay. And then you're going to stay there for another 10 minutes. And I'm telling you all right now, I've coached thousands of you. You have the time. You can't, there's another eye roll. I felt it, Susan. But you have the time. Stop saying you don't, because you're doom scrolling somewhere else, or you're watching CNBC, which doesn't matter anyway, right? So here's the thing. You stay that extra 10 minutes. And again, you're going to your ideal target markets posts. You're training the algorithm to show your posts to the people that you're interacting with. It is unbelievably easy, and it's how you hack the algorithm. I actually learned this from TikTok. I didn't actually learn this from LinkedIn, because I'm really active in messing with a whole bunch of stuff on TikTok. And I started doing that right before I'd post my video. I was going to videos that were my ideal person, people who I want to watch the video. And man, I went, it went 10 times. I was getting about 100 views per video. Now I'm getting 800 to 1,000 views per video, because I've trained the algorithm on who I want to see my content. So I think those are three really, really fantastic things to be able to focus on. Now, in the time that we have left, okay, we have a couple of questions. One, again, this was supposed to be about content marketing. I don't mean to be a jerk here, but everybody wants to know about leads and prospects. So in content marketing game, how would you guys answer, how do I get in front of high quality prospects?
I would go to the event. I mean, I think events, virtual especially, are the best way. And I think leveraging it actually plays well into all of our expertise. It could, because the content can be replicated for video and for the media and for podcasts. But if you do an event and invite somebody else, have you noticed we basically had no slides today? We all could have shown up. We all did some prep, and we thought about the questions we wanted to go through beforehand, but we didn't write a whole deck and have to submit it to compliance. So I think advisors put all these barriers to doing events. There's the deck and what I'm going to say. But if you think about the questions that your clients are asking and the topics that they're interested, find if it's on estate planning, partner with an estate attorney. It's a great way to also, bridge those COIs. But I would do events I would do them with another expert. So it's not just on you. It'll be conversational. It'll actually be better. They promote it to their audience. So that's how you get in front of other people. You're not just doing a client event where you're promoting it to your clients and hoping that they'll bring somebody. As soon as you partner with somebody, you've opened up your audience, and then you have to have a nurture strategy after that. They won't all convert tomorrow, but it's adding prospects to your CRM. The other thing is, you have to promote it. We'll hear people, I did a webinar, nobody came. Well, there are best practices to promoting it. Again, FMG has an awesome, it's one of the most popular features. We have a tool within our platform that helps you promote events, and it just does an omni-channel. See, like, you can create an event, it'll do the landing page with the registration form, it'll capture the attendees, it does a 3-drip email nurture, it triggers social posts, the whole bit. That helps. You can't just put a post on social and send out an email and hope, and that's a lot of work. So making sure you have time to do the promotion. But I think the most important thing is just don't over engineer the presentation, partner with somebody, and that's where you get the leads.
So with that, the idea of being able to get your stuff in, whether you're doing, any sort of content marketing strategy, Laura, this question is for you, is how would you optimize your short form videos to make sure that your ideal high quality prospects have a higher chance of seeing the videos?
I think it circles back to your point earlier and Susan's point earlier that there are many ways to leverage AI to really make your life easier. So if you're trying to optimize, what should I put on my thumbnail for YouTube and what should I put in the title for my video for YouTube, go to whatever platform you're using. I'm usually on Microsoft's Copilot. This is the kind of audience I'm trying to draw in. Suggest this is what the video is, drop in the transcript, suggest some thumbnails and video titles, and even ask for keywords. And all of that can be spit out for you. One thing we know to be true about thumbnails, because many of us make decisions on what we're going to watch based on what's on that thumbnail, is using the formula that you put a problem on the thumbnail in 5 words and then the solution in the title of the video.
Yeah. All right.
You made Matt speechless. That's
yeah, no, I mean, I'm sorry. You could hear those gears grinding, couldn't you? I need to get that oiled or something. I'm just not doing a very good job with that. Okay. Well,
Go,
so
Laura.
with I really want everybody to maybe just pause for a moment and realize that some people are terrified of AI, right? They're afraid it's going to replace them. Remember robo advisors? I mean, those were all going to replace you. That didn't happen, right? In fact, we've seen growth within financial services exponentially. And I just want to make sure that everybody understands that AI is an amazing tool. It's a tool. It is not the complete solution to solve all of your problems. It is a way for you to accelerate, that you get to plug yourself into the biggest brain in the world that can get you information at your fingertips. And that can really just expedite the process of what all 4 of us are talking about today. I'm actually really surprised. I've been watching the numbers. When we came right out of the gate with AI, I was really surprised we didn't get a bunch of people drop off because there is just so much resistance to AI. And I just don't think people really understand the power of it. All right. So I think that I want to make sure that we have time for everybody to go ahead and talk about who they are and what they do. So Jessica, who are we starting with? Can you go ahead and get that slide up on the screen so that we can go ahead and start winding this down? And it is going to be, okay, well, goodness gracious, it's Susan. All right, Susan, you're up. So before you do that, listen, I want everybody to know that we want to thank all of the people who are on this. And this is what you wanted to stay to the end for. These are going to be wonderful free resources. By the way, if you're not following everybody on social media, you need to be following everybody on this call because these are the people. So, all right, Susan, take it away. What can they do with you?
All right, I won't belabor the point. We basically can serve as an outsourced concierge to help you with your content marketing strategy. Every month we send out, I do a video that talks about the strategy that we've used to build the content calendar. You get a calendar and all the content. And then we also have lots of optional content. And as I said, we also do video and podcast scripts. Go to the next slide, because I think the bigger, most important thing is we've got 2 offers. One, and we'd love you to do both, but we did a 2025 guide to financial advisor marketing that has gotten really, really great reviews. And it goes over the 5 pillars that we think are really critical for this year, which includes websites, email, communications, social, and video, and events. I think that was more than 5, something's wrapped in together. The other is, so for Do It For Me, you might be, we've been talking about content marketing. Just take our free content. So we put together a content bundle, a bundle of content that you can just download using this QR code. It's 3 emails, 3 of our most, well, 3 emails. One is one of our most popular, which is an email that we wrote to help. You would send it out to all of your clients, and it basically tees up a family meeting, and it has worked so well, and advisors just love it. So that's like a go-to. We also did one that is about describing your secret sauce, your client experience, what makes you different, which obviously I would suggest you personalize, but we've kind of hit on, I think, what most people would probably say. And then a recent one we did, which is a go bag, based on the LA fires and other natural disasters. People have been asking, like, kind of wondering, if I had to go in a minute, what would I grab? So we did a go bag email, and advisors got like 80% open rates and lots of thank yous. So we gave you those 3 emails. We also gave you 2 blogs. One is on identity theft, and the other is on, I think it's on, opportunities to learn from your tax return or something like that. We write mainly for a high net worth audience. These are pretty sophisticated. So just thought they'd be good offers.
Fantastic. All right. Next. Oh no, it's you jumped ahead. I'm not next. One more.
Ooh.
Right. Yay. All right, Jackie, you're up.
If anybody doesn't know, Jay Connolly here, we are a 20+ year integrated comms firm. We've been working in the PR space for a really long time, especially in the financial and financial adjacent industries. I lead their digital team, which means even traditional marketing has a digital impact. We wanted to make sure we were measuring that and providing like a 360-degree view for our clients. So we put together a quick guide on 8 trends we think you're going to see this year, from where marketing trends that'll be relevant, that expands across everything from SEO to social to lead gen and PPC to any area of marketing we think would be relevant for you. I think based on what we discussed here today, I think our digital thought leadership program would be really, really interesting for some people. That's where we really walk you through and breaking down your own barriers of how to make your social networks work for you, and getting you acclimated with the networks that you want to make an impact with. So really appreciate everyone's time. Definitely download the guide, and happy to answer questions at any time.
Laura.
This one is not for everyone. I feel like Susan and Jackie's for everybody. Everybody should go get those. This one is if you're interested in vertical video best practices. So we do remote video marketing for financial advisors. We've been doing it since 2019. And because of the vertical video short format trend, late last year in December, we launched a FinKit program, which is 52 short format vertical videos in a year, recording just quarterly. And this 10x your engagement playbook was designed for those clients. This is something that's really we've never given away publicly, but why not? Matt invited me here. I got to give you something. So this guide is really to take your compliance approved short form verticals and push them out most effectively on the social platforms. So if you feel like this is a fit for you, follow the QR code. Would love for you to snag this.
All right. And so for all of us here at ProudMouth, if you would like to outsource your show, which would be long form video and podcasts and some of the custom written content that we do for all of you, we would love to be able to help you with that. And we are going to offer something, and I just want everybody on this to know, I don't approve of this message because it's going to load my calendar up with a whole bunch. I'm kidding. Listen, if you want a free strategy session with me, just scan the QR code. It gives you access to my calendar. I am booked a little ways out, but I'd love to be able to spend some time with you guys. You know, it's anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes where we'll just dive into what you're thinking about, what you're doing. I know 75% of the time I refer to Jackie, Laura, and Susan because we might not be the solution for you. But if we are, I'd love to have the chance to get up to the plate and try to help you with your whole strategy. So with that, everybody, please, please, please make sure that you are following all of us here on social media. We didn't actually get to all of the questions because I don't want to run right up to the top of the hour because, you know, people are busy and they've got stuff to do. If you do have specific questions for Laura, Susan, Jackie, or myself, please just message us on LinkedIn. That's super easy. We're all very, very, very active there. And we are more than happy to answer your very specific questions. There were, by the way, all of you, some questions that came in for each of us, but I didn't have enough time to go through all of them. So lots of questions on PR, lots of questions about content marketing, lots of questions on video, all of the stuff, even some questions about podcasting. So tough nuggums, everybody. You have to connect with us so we can actually have a real conversation. And with that, for all of our wonderful guests, thank you guys very, very much for being here. And for all of us here at ProudMouth, we'll see you on another webinar very soon.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.